photos earlier today, and then we went to the park, and then we were like, we gotta eat something. So.
We gotta get some sort of food.
Some sort of food. Pizza.
What age are you guys? Yeah.
I'm 17.
And the two of us are 18.
I mean, I knew I wanted to go to college probably like starting my junior year. Before then, I was pretty convinced I was gonna be a rock star for a while, but like, you know, and then I spent like my whole summer before senior year. I applied to maybe 30 scholarships, didn't get one of them, and then I applied to 4 schools, got into all of them, and I got a full ride to IUPUI. So that's where I'm going. That's kind of the decision was based on that mostly. I wanted to go to Butler, but it's very expensive there, so I didn't.
Yeah. For me, I kind of like always knew that I wanted to go to IUPUI in general at a very young age, just because my sister and I are like first generation kind of like immigrants, you know, so it's like I saw her go to IUPUI, graduate there in 2014, so I kind of just like followed in her first like footsteps, so yeah.
Mine is, so I'm not going to college this next season or next semester because I actually had a college approach me about photography. So I've always been super passionate about photography, and it was really cool to see that a school reached out to me and said, "Hey, we saw some of your work. We want to come and we want to hire you for the school year." And I was like, "That's amazing!" So I'll be attending that school next year. But I think the college decision was always something that I had to do. Since 7th grade, I'd been a part of 21st Century Scholars, and that was something that was pushed onto me. But at the same time, I was like, "This is wonderful because that's $40,000 that I don't have to pay out of my pocket to, you know, college." So once I finished my work with Marion, I think I'll be attending Marion in the next coming school year. Isn't it funny that isn't that funny? Wait, do you guys are both going to the same school though, right?
Yeah, well, we're gonna be together.
We're going to the same school.
It is a big school though, and we're not in the same school within that school, but we'll all be in Indy. But I have other friends that are going far away, and that's scary. But I think most of it is just being thrown into adulthood is terrifying. Like on one hand, being 18 doesn't really change anything, but on the other hand, it changes so much, and you know, that's scary. And just like having the responsibility of all your classes and adding to that working and the like getting an apartment at some point, just adulthood in and of itself and not relying on other people as much is scary, and it's my responsibility. So if I mess up, it's my fault.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, there's support systems, you know. I mean, luckily I have a friend group, you know, that is really amazing. You know, we've kind of known each other for so long that it's very difficult, I feel like, for us to separate, even though, you know, we are kind of going a little bit in our separate ways, trying to adjust. But even during, you know, that adjusting period, especially come August or something like that, I think people will find our pace, and even if people are somewhat distant, we'll find a way to get back and reconnect. Yeah. I think that's the beauty of it.
And yeah, for you, what are you necessarily scared of in this next chapter of your life?
Well, excuse me. I don't know. I've kind of always been independent, like ever since I was very small. I think the thing I'm afraid of the most would have to be being away from friends for too long. Because again, I thrive off of social energy. I thrive when my friends are around me. I feel happier when my friends are around me. So not being around them 24/7 is going to be like, we're already not around each other 24/7, but not having that like close, oh, I'm in class right now, I can't really speak, you know, but the scariest thing I think would be that if I make a mistake, for real this time, it's on me. Like a lot of mistakes have been on me and I need to fix them myself. And I've taken the steps to find my friends and say, hey, I kind of need some help with this situation. But sometimes it's just like, this is on me now, and we have to grow and evolve and be like, okay, adult things. So I think that would be the scariest part, the fact that most of our lives it's been like, here's this, you can have a tutorial on how to do this. Now it's just, you mess up, move on, keep going, which I think is the scariest part. Oh man, COVID shut down social, everything. Just everything was like shut down for so long. I didn't get to see them for months on end. We were like, we want to hang out, but also there's a big disease going around, and we're not trying to do that.
Right.
But socially, it just like kind of drained everything. When you're in school, when you're with your friends, it's kind of competitive in a way. Like you're like, my friends are smart, but I think I'm just a tad bit like
smarter.
My brain is a little bit bigger than yours.
Right,
It's
yeah.
just like, but you know that it's just like playful fun, but it's still that push for you because you see your classmates are like, I'm getting A's, B's, like all that stuff, and then you're like, I want to get A's and B's and stuff. I want that stuff. So it's like that drive was gone because I was sitting in front of a computer screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my friends are still getting high grades and high marks that I want to get, but am I still getting the same treatment? Like I'm sitting at home on my desk 7 hours a day with a break in between. That just is draining. It's what's like that social aspect was taken away from us.
Yeah. Well, I think that my senior year was finally going to be the year that I was going to get a lot more independence. I mean, I'm not an adult yet, but like I'm getting there, and my parents are going to let me like do things and go out, and then you know I couldn't. And so now is kind of the first, like right now I'm starting to go do things, except I'm gonna be 18 in like 2 months, and then I'm gonna be at college. So it's like my whole becoming an adult thing is just kind of got compressed, which makes it a lot scarier.
Yeah, there's like a point where we just have to rush to get to finish, you know, the finish line. And like personally, throughout like the times of COVID, not being able to interact with friends and stuff, it absolutely sucked. But you know, we're here now, you know, we're healthy, you know, per se, you know, which I'm really glad, you know, just because of all the financial hardships that my family faced, and also a lot of emotional hardships, you know, with regarding, you know, whether it was the political climate or the actual stuff in regarding immigration status for one of my parents. So it's like, it was difficult, but you know, we're here now, and I'm grateful for everything, you know.
Any advice that you would give to anyone?
Okay,
Anyone else?
I'll start. I mean, this might be obvious and stupid, but like, your friends are so important, and having a good friend group that you feel like pushes you in the right direction and treats you well, and it doesn't make you anxious. I've had a lot of friends that just caused me more pain, and it was like, why is being your friend stressing me out? But now I'm around people that don't stress me out. And I've also been in situations where I have distanced myself from my friends, and that is not what you want to do. And then like I've been in a relationship where it was my fault, but I just totally distanced myself from all my friends. And then when I got out of that, I was like, oh, being with friends is cool. And my mental health has definitely gotten so much better just from hanging out with my friends and goofing around with them regularly.
I would say there's a beauty with being alone during, you know, during these really weird times that, you know, we're in, and especially coming out of, you know, this COVID sort of situation that's been going on throughout the US. So it's like, I would say one of the biggest tips I can give for everyone is to strive for progress, not perfection. There's a beauty in the progress and the struggles that everyone faces, even though they might be very difficult and very challenging at that time. People will come out of it for sure. And when you come out of it, the chances of you being someone greater, it's there. So take all the chances that you get and keep going for it.
Oh man, they took everything I wanted to say. I think the biggest thing that a lot of friends that I have been around with